Hi, welcome back to my channel. I am doing another tag, and this one is the slow reading tag. I saw this on, give me a second. I saw this on Joel Books. I will link his channel below and his video. This is just, we just had to talk about our reading and how we read. I read very slow. As you can tell, it took me over a year to read Harry Potter book 1. If the book is not interesting to me, it takes me a very long time to read it. When I read every single word, and what really frustrates me when I read is a book that has names or places in it that I can't pronounce. Mainly, to give you an example, I am trying to read Throne of Glass, and Throne of Glass has this girl's name in there. It's called Selena, I think. But every time I get up to her name or any name of the person in that book, I stop, and then I had to reread the whole entire sentence. It really frustrates me when they use words that are very hard to pronounce. And another thing is, like, I'm also trying to read Outlander, and Outlander has the Scottish words in there that it's not English, it's a Scottish type dialogue, and I have to read the entire sentence over again and over again until I understand what I read, and that really frustrates me. And that's why it takes me a long time to read certain books. I have turned to audio just because of that reason. Audio really helps me to get through that slump of the difficulty of reading, and because I read every single word, that's what I struggle with mainly when I do that. So if I go to audiobook, it seems to help me to get through those type of books. So but as I said, I am a slow reader. Even though you are seeing me read more, it's because I am adding audio to my daily reading schedule. So that's how I'm adding more books into my monthly total. So also, because I am not watching TV as much as I was, I am reading a book, and I like to read books that I'm going to sit there and read and read and read. I also like to read an hour at a time, and I really like books that I could read fast. As I said, I read every single word, and books that have these very large words that I can't pronounce, and those books are the ones that I like to use my Kindle on, because I like to look up the words. If I don't understand or I don't know what that word is, I like to look it up. So my Kindle is the best thing, because you just click on it and it actually tells you what the word means. But yes, I read very slowly. So and that's it. So I have a friend who actually, she comes here and she reads nonfiction, and she could actually sit there and read an entire book where I read maybe 2 chapters, and she reads the entire book. Yeah, my kids are like, wow, how do you read so fast? She actually turns the pages like quickly. I'm like, you don't read every single word. She has to be skipping. There's no way that she reads. And I have learned how to skip a little bit. Recently I've been skipping, especially if there is dialogue. I like to skip to the quotation marks. So to give you an example, I will read a quotation mark to quotation mark and then skip, like as people were talking back and forth, I do skip he said, she said, she jumped off the bridge or whatever. I skip those and I read from quotation mark to quotation mark. What there is a funny story about that, because I'm reading quotation mark and quotation mark. A book that doesn't have quotation marks and they're actually speaking, that drives me crazy. There was one book that I really enjoyed, but it drove me crazy. It was Labor Day. There was no quotation marks throughout the entire book, and that drove me crazy, but I did really enjoy the story. But that drove me crazy. I don't like when they don't use quotation marks while people are talking, because I do try to read and I skip all that he said, she said stuff. So that does speed up a little bit of reading time. So that's my only trick. And then Lindsay Ray has given me another trick with audiobooks where you can speed up the audiobooks. So I've been doing that as well. So that does speed up the time listening to. Sometimes it's hard to get used to listening to that, because sometimes my daughter will come in and like, what do you listen to, Mom? And I'm like, I'm just speeding up the book a little bit. So I do it that way. So, and that's the only tip I know for speeding up. I don't know how other people read so quickly. I am averaging 1 or 2 books a week, so that is my average. And I tend to DNF a lot of books. If you noticed, I start reading a book, and if the book does not interest me at all and it's not a page turner, that book will be put aside, because I don't want to waste my time on books that aren't capturing my attention, and my attention's going elsewhere. Like, so I have a lot of books that I start reading and I'm just not into it, so I just put those books aside. And I am definitely a mood reader. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.